Bitch! Have y'all not seen the news? Let me calm down. Anyway, when it comes down to things, yes, we live in a timeline where you can finally say Kingdom Hearts 4 is a thing. I'm good. Anyway, what's good everybody? It's your boy Jason Pikes 4 here. I need to calm down. But yeah, today, as I said before, when the Kingdom Hearts event comes out, I wanted to talk about the things that will be brought up at that point. And today is that day, and we are actually here to talk about not only, just the main attraction of the show, what we wanted to see, but we also got to talk about the other things that came out of this Kingdom Hearts event as well. It is the 20th year of Kingdom Hearts' life, so might as well talk about everything as well, even if it might not be the thing that you're mainly interested in, but we should go over it just because it is a part of the story and it's a part of the thing that connects to the main thing that we care about. So when it comes down to this event, there's 3 different things that we have to talk about. There is Union Cross, Dark Road, there is a whole new mobile game for Kingdom Hearts, and obviously Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, when we start with Dark Road, obviously it's going to be coming out in August this year, and it's going to be pretty much the wrapping up of Xehanort's storyline when it comes down to, what happened back then and why did Xehanort pretty much turn out the way he did, and all that type of stuff. Essentially, we're getting that wrapped up right then and there as time goes when August hits. And there's like a few things in that kind of make me question a little bit of things. Is one, really just 2 scenes in particular. One scene is where you obviously have the Wizard of Oz head-ass person, and essentially he's there with darkness, much less there's 2 armored Keyblade warriors right there falling over, and you're thinking, okay, it has to be Xehanort, obviously, and it has to be Ericus. Like, it gotta be those 2, because they do have armored modes. You might not remember it, but they do have armored modes. Kingdom Hearts 2, which is obviously what Xehanort, Xemnas had, but you can also look at Master Ericus, if you remember the Birth by Sleep Final Mix, where you could fight armored Ericus. He does have a mode, so it seems like that's gonna be the battle between those 2. But my question is, how is Darkness there, and what is the wizard doing there, their teacher? So that's like one major thing about Dark Road. And again, we're gonna get all the information and the ending and all that potential lore. That's pretty much going through Dark Road. That's gonna be coming out in August. So all the questions and answers that we might want to know about Xehanort in his future and how he turned out the way he is, that's gonna be coming out in August. So hopefully it's gonna be something that pretty much will give us all the answers that we need, because I ain't gonna lie, they delayed this show like a very long time, really long, when it should have been wrapped up ages ago, if I'm being honest. Then we got a new Kingdom Hearts game called Kingdom Hearts The Missing Link, and essentially it's gonna be the time skip of what happened between probably just what happens with Vrain and how he is now, and going through different worlds obviously, and probably going to get some lore of what has happened with Vrain and why he is in Scala now in the future, and all this organization agency stuff when it comes to him. Most likely there's going to be some more lore within a mobile game again, and all I can say is pay attention, because there's a lot of people that probably still hasn't paid attention to Union Cross and didn't know there was lore in that. There is lore in that. Highly recommend that you pay attention, because once again, you see the game, if it's Kingdom Hearts in it, best believe there's going to be lore in it, whether you realize it or not. Even if it's a mobile game, you need to pay attention. Even if you don't play it yourself, just watch the cutscenes and you'll just be fine. Alright, that's like essentially the main thing that you need to do when it comes down to it. Then we have the big boy, the big lad of all the announcements today, and it's Kingdom Hearts 4. And I'll be perfectly honest, I knew they were going to go on some type of realistic ass route. I knew that they was gonna try to pull something Final Fantasy-ish. I knew it, I just didn't know how. And the moment you see that forestry, the moment you see the forest and all that greenery, I was like, am I playing a Kingdom Hearts game? What? This don't look like Kingdom Hearts. This looks like Final Fantasy 15 or no, this is Final Fantasy 17. We skipped 16, we went to 17. Now that's literally what this is. It literally looks like a game that's not even Kingdom Hearts. It feels like it's not a game that's not Kingdom Hearts like it usually is. Even though, you know, you got that element of that it's going to be a Kingdom Hearts game. And essentially when you get down to the nitty gritty of stuff, when you see all that's happening, you get to see that Sora is some realistic boy. What is happening to my boy, man? What? This man looks so real. Like, you can actually see, you know, the floppy ass hair. You can see the actual normal looking face. His clothes is all kind of different, where it looks more like something that you would actually wear in real life. You know, no more of the not knowing what Sora's actual feet look like. His feet is right there. They're just as big as mine, which is insane. But, you know, Sora is a real boy. He's actually a real boy now. And I think at this current point, he's like 17 at this point. So, you know, that's also a thing. But when it comes down to it, Sora, yeah, he's basically a real boy now. He's a real whole ass dude. And also got his own apartment. I see you, Sora. What you been doing to make that money so you get an apartment of your own? Let me know so I can get my own damn apartment. Anyway, you also see Strelitzia in a 3D setting with a 3D model. And I ain't gonna lie, she looking pretty nice. Not gonna lie, Kairi better watch out, because I feel like Strelitzia about to steal her man. I'm just saying. Also, she is looking pretty a little too good, honestly. If I can be personally honest with you, because, you know, I like Naminé. I never really said it, but Naminé is my waifu in this entire game. And I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of getting a little too difficult to choose between Naminé or Strelitzia. I'm not gonna front. Anyway, we know that in Union Cross that she's still alive and went somewhere with Lushu, but we don't necessarily remember, or at least know, exactly what happened between that time. So, you know, if Strelitzia is here, she's pretty much, I guess, on her own in a way. But at the same time, are we sure that's the case? So, but yeah, it is interesting to see someone from that era of the Keybladers, of Keyblade warriors, and just pretty much interacting with Sora now. It feels really weird, but it's at the same time really cool to see. And obviously, the city that Sora's is in Quadratum, that we already knew. And, you know, it's so realistic. It's weird to see realistic characters in, you know, a Kingdom Hearts game, because usually it's always Disney stuff, it's always some type of fake worlds that we get to go to, and, you know, it's never really usually realistic until now. So that's also one thing. It's Final Fantasy X Kingdom Hearts, honestly. It's pretty much what you expect. Anyway, you get to see the first boss of the game, which I'm going to assume this is tutorial stuff, because it feels like it is. And Sora's just about to fight this dark side that is different than all the other dark sides. He's like an invisible, but mixed with a dark side. If an invisible got like bigger and lost a sword and, you know, really was just fused together with that. That's what that Heartless looked like. Anyway, when it comes down to things, it is looking like your tutorial boss, and we get a small bit of gameplay. We don't get that much gameplay, but we get a small bit of it. And it's not really overall like true gameplay, if I'm being honest. The running first part of the running animation might be, but everything else feels like it's still, you know, early in development, as we kind of already thought. And at least this time, it might not take longer to get this game, because, you know, they have a knowledge of how Unreal Engine works. So it looks like we might not have to struggle 5 million years to get a whole game dedicated to a number title in the Kingdom Hearts series, honestly. But yeah, the gameplay looks good. Also, the one major thing that made me flip out and made me lose my actual brains is this man whipping his Keyblade into an actual hook and chain and just start climbing stuff. You have flow motion. Granted, you don't necessarily need it to flex that hard, because he has slow motion in Kingdom Hearts 3. You can just get to big and high places fairly easily. But this man has a whole chain. uses the keychain as a grappling hook. You don't necessarily need it. Sora, stop flexing on me so damn hard. Like, I was so hyped when I saw that. I was like, he is using his keychain. This bitch is actually using his shit and literally just whipping that shit. Like, how? So yeah, that was by far the mind-blowing part for me, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I didn't think she could whip that shit, I'll be honest. Then also you had the whole scene with him just falling down into the, you know, the city, like, not the city, but the building where he has like the windows and is falling onto the Heartless and stuff, which that was another cool scene. And I think someone said that might be a reference to Versus 13, in which we're gonna see a bunch of references to Versus 13. Not gonna lie, we're gonna see so much stuff when it comes to Versus 13 in Kingdom Hearts 4. It's not gonna make a damn bit of sense if we're all just on the same boat with this. So, you know, and obviously we did get to see the Masters and Lucio as Sora is fighting, you know, the dark side Heartless, whatever the hell this new variation is of it. And pretty much, yeah, Sora's on his own. Oh yeah, Sora is on his own. I kind of forgot. I wonder if Starlitzia is going to be like our help for the entire game, because obviously Donald and Goofy ain't going to make it in this game. I don't necessarily think they're going to get in this game, unless they get into it in the end where they finally find him. Riku is there, so Riku might pop up too. But yeah, Donald and Goofy ain't gonna be, you know, easily trying to get to Quadratum. I don't think they're gonna easily find him like that. So, you know, it's a bit strange. And which also kind of makes the ending of the trailer kind of interesting. And because obviously you have Goofy and Donald like somewhere, and Hades is there. Most likely they're just in the Hercules world, but definitely they're probably looking for, I guess Hades probably might just be like, oh, Sora dead, let's see if we can find him real quick. But then again, why would Hades help us? Because we did literally just whoop his ass in the last game, so doesn't necessarily make sense if we did find Hades and he had us to help out finding Sora. I would think he would want him pretty much not dealing with Sora in the slightest. But when it comes down to all of it, I don't necessarily think we're gonna get, I don't know, it feels weird. I want to say that we are gonna get Disney stuff, a lot of it, but at the same time, because of the situation Sora's in and how it's uniquer than a lot of the other stuff in Kingdom Hearts, it feels like we're not gonna get that much stuff related to Disney and Disney worlds, which I feel like, which I know a lot of people said, oh, no Disney worlds? Huh, I'm sold. But at the same time, it needs that part of, honestly, it needs that part. Because without the Disney worlds and without using the Disney characters like that, it feels like it's removing what Kingdom Hearts is. It's supposed to be a collaborative work of Disney and Kingdom Hearts and Square Enix and stuff, you know? It's not supposed to be just Square Enix doing Square Enix things. It has to have that element of Disney in it, because if it don't, then it's just like, it's not really a real Kingdom Hearts game. It doesn't feel like a Kingdom Hearts game, no matter how good it looks or how good it plays. Personally, I'm just hoping that there is a way that we can, you know, travel to different worlds, even if it's not that many worlds. And Quadratum is probably going to be the most expensive part, as they kind of put out for a press release saying that it will be. Hopefully Quadratum is having like its own thing, but also it could be a hub world. Honestly, it could be the world that we just stay in the entire game. But I hope we get to go to Disney worlds too, because again, that's the magic of Kingdom Hearts. You get to go to Disney worlds and be a part of that story, or create a new story and be a part of that. So that's what I'm really hoping for. Hopefully they don't just say, let's get rid of Disney worlds for this game and then never bring it, and then not do it. You know, it would just feel a bit weird. Also, one last thing too that I have to say, and if Nomura drops the ball on this, I'm gonna be mad. This is the perfect place. Quadratum is the perfect place to finally do the Sephiroth fight one last time. There is no reason for you not to do it. You can literally just have fun with it. Destroy the city, do whatever you like, literally make it like Final Fantasy VII Remake's final battle. Let's be perfectly honest, if you played that game, that is the most satisfying last final boss in a video game I have played in a very long time. The last final boss that I was satisfied with how you get to beat him and stuff, was Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2. I haven't had a good, decent last boss fight in a video game since then. But yeah, when it comes to Sephiroth and Remake, that was a really good fight, a really fun one. So I'm really hoping whatever Kingdom Hearts 4 has needs a Sephiroth fight, and it needs reaction commands. It needs to have cool stuff. It needs to be literally one of the most over-the-top fights in all of the Kingdom Hearts games when it comes to secret boss fights. It does. I'm sorry, but it does. And that jump needs to be dumb hard. It needs to be stupidly hard. Takes so much time to beat. Honestly, it needs to make Yozora look like an actual joke. That's the feeling I'm feeling. That's how I feel when it comes down to it. We need that last Sephiroth fight. And you know Cloud could easily, you know, do some real good stuff in said fight. I know it's not a Final Fantasy game, but damn it, I need to see Sephiroth and Cloud go at it one last time. Even if Nomura don't think people care about it anymore. We need that. So yeah, definitely when it comes down to things, I am very extremely hyped for Kingdom Hearts 4. Not Kingdom Hearts 3, we're past that now. But I will say I do need to see another trailer of this game just to get my hype levels exactly as they were maybe, you know, when Kingdom Hearts 3 was going through its thing. Because we had been waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for so long. Now my hype levels have been, you know, since we got that game, been kind of chill. I was still hyped for this 100%, but at the same time I was also like because I was just like, I kind of want to see a little bit more than what we got, but it's fine for now. But hopefully we get to see something. If I'm expecting a release date, I'm expecting it probably to be like, I don't know, maybe like late 2023 to 2024, maybe spring and summer, maybe then. But other than that, I don't know when we could possibly see Kingdom Hearts 4 dropping. It's still weird to say Kingdom Hearts 4. It still doesn't feel like a real game. Honestly, didn't think I would ever live to see Kingdom Hearts 4, but here we are. But yeah, when it comes down to things, that is my full look and analysis kinda ish of what I'm thinking of when it comes to Kingdom Hearts and how it is now. You know, we do have a lot of stuff to cover. They still have a lot of stuff and questions and answers that need to be given out when it comes to Kingdom Hearts entirely. But obviously they'll be solved, or either just be, you know, adding on some more questions until we get to that next installment. But you know, there's just a lot to be going on here. I can expect people to be talking about this game for a good minute, and expecting the people to talk about, you know, how they don't like it's super realistic. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't necessarily like that it's super realistic, but I will say this: Kingdom Hearts has always been the series that goes into different worlds and change how they look all the time. So I don't necessarily think this is going to be a permanent look for Sora. If it is, that's kind of really dumb. But it is something that we're just looking at now. And again, I don't necessarily think it's going to be permanently what Sora looks like, but this is the Sora that we got. So, you know, hopefully we get a Record Route world. If there is going to be Disney Worlds, that's the only world I really want to see. That or a Zootopia world. One of the two. Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for this one. So hopefully you are just as hyped for it as I am. And hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and let's donate to the channel. Patreon and Ko-Fi is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.